and welcome. This is Midday News. Thanks for joining us. 75 officers of the Independent Commission Against Corruption has taken their oath of office and oath of secrecy in Port Moresby last week. Acting Commissioner Thomas Elu says the ceremony marks a new standard in the fight against corruption. The officers pledged to uphold the Constitution, maintain confidence and serve with integrity. Deputy Commissioners Don Sawong and Elinas Batari reminded newly sworn officers that accountability and professionalism must guide their work. The event strengthens ICAC's mandate to prevent, investigate and prosecute corruption in Papua New Guinea. Police in the National Capital District and Central Province are investigating the death of a female whose body was discovered yesterday at Raburoku along Hiritano Highway in Central Province. Central Provincial Police Commander Chief Inspector Joseph Saleh confirmed that the body of a deceased female was discovered by a man who was on his way to the garden at Ruburoko along the Hiritano Highway in Central Province. He reported the incident to local leaders, who then alerted the police. Chief Inspector Saleh said officers from Forensic, Central Criminal Investigation Division and the Laloki Police responded and have retrieved the body and brought it to the Port Moresby General Hospital morgue. PPC Saleh added that the female has a tattoo on her right abdomen colored yellow, red and black. He further mentioned that she has short hair and is about 140 centimeters tall. He said police, together with community leaders and village representatives from the Ruburoko area, raised awareness in the surrounding villages and confirmed that all females were present. However, a public call-out was issued to the general public to check each house, and if any female members who fit the description can contact the Central Police Headquarters and police officers will assist. Meanwhile, police investigation continues. The Hamamas Food Festival 2025 themed Cuisine Beyond Borders wrapped up a flavorful weekend at Dynasty Seafood Restaurant at Vicent City Mega Hall. With more than just satisfied appetite, it delivered hope. Over the weekend, 14 restaurants around Port Moresby showcased diverse global cuisines, drawing crowds eager to explore culinary traditions and support a meaningful cause. A portion of the festival's proceeds will benefit the pediatric and cancer ward at Port Moresby General Hospital, helping improve patients battling serious illnesses. Organizers says the event was designed to celebrate cultural diversity while strengthening community bonds through food and philanthropy. The Hamamas Food Festival attracted the public, who supported the event by buying food for a worthy cause. The event ended yesterday and participants were rewarded for their tireless efforts and tasty dishes. To overseas news. The state government has unveiled its plan to phase out single-use plastics over the next 5 years. After banning lightweight plastic bags, straws and single-use cutlery in previous years, the government says this plan is the natural next step to reduce plastic waste.
Soy sauce fish bottles and condiment packets, only some of the next targets to be eliminated in the war on plastic.
In New South Wales last year, over 935,000 tonnes of plastic was used. Only 15% of that is being recycled.
Besides the environmental damage and the dangers of microplastics on human health, the minister highlighted the scale of the state's waste crisis.
We're running out of landfill across New South Wales, and we're running out of it in Greater Sydney. Over 800,000 tonnes of plastic is currently ending up in our landfill. Part of what this plan is about stopping that now.
The plan aims to phase out pizza savers and bread tags by 2027, fruit and vegetable stickers by 2030, and to force food businesses to accept reusable cups by 2028.
We see a lot of plastic just going into the bin, and with the compostable cups as well, it needs a better solution. So we're really excited to be on the right side of sustainability, and we're happy to adopt, any new laws.
Jeff Angel is the director of Boomerang Alliance, a coalition of 56 non-governmental organizations fighting against environmental pollution.
Not only does this put New South Wales ahead of all the other states and territories, it also makes a very substantial contribution to the alarming problem of plastic pollution.
A problem that still impacts our waterways, wildlife, and us.
The clock is ticking on Australia's bid to host the world's most important climate meeting next year. Several world leaders have spent the past few days in the Amazonian city of Belém for climate talks ahead of the conference of the parties meeting, which officially kicked off on Saturday. Australia wants to follow Brazil as COP host and hold next year's gathering in Adelaide in partnership with Pacific nations. Its bid has won plaudits from the region, but the government's pursuit of the prize has been a long way short of perfect. Australia has been in the box seat to win the contest for months, but Turkey, which has also raised its end to host, has simply refused to withdraw. 1 in 5 Australian households is suffering severe food insecurity, according to Food Bank's latest annual hunger report. It shows average Australian families increasingly faced with difficult decisions at the grocery shop and even going without food.
Preparing to feed the homeless, this Darwin resident's own food security is on her mind. Since a recent injury, she's had no choice but to get her groceries delivered, and every dollar counts.
I have this strict budget while I'm not working of how much money I can spend on food each week, and that doesn't change. So when they put up their delivery from $10 to $18, I just had to choose $8 less groceries.
And she's not alone, with more people visiting her soup kitchen than ever before.
When we used to mostly see like desperately poor looking, homeless people, now we're getting families and, people that you wouldn't expect.
3.5 million households around Australia are now struggling to feed themselves, according to Food Bank's 2025 Hunger Report, which also reveals almost half of all renters have experienced food insecurity this past year, as have 1 in 5 households earning over $91,000 a year. The charity says 20% of Australian households have either skipped meals or gone full days without eating in the year 2024 to 25. That's a 1% increase on last year, and a sign, Food Bank says, that hunger is becoming mainstream.
When cost of living spikes the way it has, every demographic suffers. There's rent increases and that kind of thing, and all these pressures put pressures on families, and then unfortunately they do end up needing help, and that's where we come in as a food bank.
They're calling on the federal government to introduce a tax incentive to encourage the donation of food that would otherwise be thrown away.
What the data this year tells us is really concerningly the cost of living relief measures that the federal government tried to provide in the last term of Parliament didn't affect what people were putting on the table.
An increasingly hungry nation hoping the government steps up to the plate.
In sports, 3 players from within the OFC region have been nominated for the Best FIFA Women's 11, recognizing the finest female players in the world for their positions. Papua New Guinea's midfielder and key player Romona Padio, Solomon Highlands goalkeeper Zainab Donga, and New Zealand defender Rebecca Todd have been chosen among 88 of the world's best players. Players have been nominated due to their performances between the 11th of August 2024 and the 2nd of August 2025, and football fans decide the winners to be a part of the best FIFA Women's 11 by voting on the FIFA website. 3 is the highest number of players OFC has ever had nominated for the best FIFA Women's 11 since its inception in 2016. And that ends the Midday News. Join us at 6 tonight for the main bulletin. Bye for now.